In the red corner, Robert Bangkruy. He's 21 years of age, started fighting was 10. 5 feet 8 inches tall, weighs at 136 pounds, has had 70 professional fights for 15 losses only and 3 draws. And his opponent in the blue corner, Tappa Sidor. 23 years of age, started fighting as 12. He's 5 feet 7 inches tall, weighs in 136 pounds, has had 70 professional fights for 15 losses only and 3 draws. On their knees for the Bangkruy. The first phase of the pre-fight traditional dance of Muay Thai, the Bangkruy, and then onto the feet for the Ra Muay. And that's a quick Ra Muay from Robert Bangkruy. And in the blue corner, Tappa Sidor goes on with his Ra Muay. There's no set time limit for the amount of time a fighter performs the Ra Muay. It's up to the individual discretion of the fighter himself. And there's Robert wearing his Mong Kong crown, as is Tappa there, getting final instructions from his trainer. There's Robert. You'll see him have his Mong Kong removed, as are the garlands around their necks. Come into the centre of the round, and the referee sends them on their way for 5 rounds of Muay Thai. Will the fight be fought at length with the long-range kicks, or will they get in close and rumble in the grapple? We'll soon know as this round goes through its motions, because this first round is often the tactics round where the fighters work out how they're going to handle their opponent. So far it's been a very aggressive Tappa, who's been firing in roundhouse kicks to the body and legs. Robert's virtually sitting back, watching what's going on, and hasn't really worked out his tactics yet. You see the way in which Tappa blocks his kicks with his shin. That's exactly the way you do it in Muay Thai. Use the shin as a shield. You raise up, like you see there, raise up the shin to take the blow on the hard shin bone. Shin bone acting as the shield, the Muay Thai defensive shield. Robert now in the red, starting to put a bit of pressure onto Tappa. Tappa lets fly the roundhouse kick, and there's Robert shaping up to him. Let's fly with a roundhouse to the body, and a second. Robert looking very confident in round 1. He's not doing a great deal, but he certainly is looking confident. Tappa there in the blue. Been quite forceful with his kicks to date. The referee urging both fighters to keep attacking. There's Robert punches, then low leg kicks. And then Tappa punching in low leg kicks. Robert sitting back there, feeling smug. Not doing a great deal, but sort of saying, I'm taking everything you've got to give me, and it's hardly had any effect. So very, very confident Robert here in round 1. Tappa is now going to put a bit of pressure on him, see if he can take that smugness away from Robert's face. Robert holding his guard right down, tempting Tappa to come in onto him. Tappa a little bit cautious against Robert. I don't think he's going to be bluffed by the nonchalance appearance of Robert, particularly here in this first round. Good roundhouse by Tappa. And there's Robert doing his motions again. Leg grab by Tappa. Now Tappa is trying to get underneath him and land a punch, as the bell sounds, and a smiling Robert goes back to his corner, full of confidence. There he is doing his little jiggle. And there's the leg grab by Tappa, but he couldn't follow on with it. He should have really grabbed the leg and started to really plough forward. at least 2 steps as you can do legally, but he decided not to. So we go into round 2. Will Tapia be able to take put a bit of pressure on to remove the confidence of Robert. Roundhouse to the body by Tapia. Good roundhouse again to the body by Tapia. That took a bit of the smile off Robert's face. Robert in the red. Tapia. Careful what he does against Robert. Robert's a confidence fighter. One false move and he'll take advantage, and that's just what Tapia is going to be aware of. He's not going to fall for any tricks of Robert. Let's look at Robert now. He's looking a little bit more serious here in round 2. Getting down to some serious business. Tapia takes a couple of hard punches to the face by Robert. And then Tapia comes back with a hard, solid roundhouse that slaps across the thighs of Robert. Tapia on the attack again. Good roundhouse by Tapia. Robert comes back with a teeth push kick. And in comes Tapia, hard leg kick. Robert responds with 2, 3 roundhouse kicks to the head. And we've got world war starting here. Both these fighters are setting themselves in for a battle of attrition. Tapia on the attack. Roundhouse to the body. Robert coming back. And he's no longer smiling. Serious business here now. Tapia in the blue. Really putting some pressure onto Robert now. Robert has this ability of being able to land those roundhouse kicks right up high to the head region whenever he wants. And after landing 2, he's looking very confident once again. Good knee by Robert. There is Tapia coming back with his roundhouse kicks. He's becoming a little bit hesitant now, Tapia. When he was putting pressure onto Robert, Robert wasn't looking half as confident. But as soon as Tapia starts to get hesitant, Robert's confidence soars. And being a confidence fighter, Robert looks very dangerous when he gets his confidence up. And that's just what's happening now. Robert holding his guard down, confident. Tapia unable to put any pressure on him, and there's Robert goes across to his corner. Well, good. The round started off well for Tapia. There's that roundhouse kick, double roundhouse kick to the head, and that's what Robert can pull out of his magic box whenever he wants to. Well, this is a crucial round here, round 3. Tapia needs to keep the pressure on to Robert. And he comes flashing in with elbows. Elbow attacks by Tapia, and Robert's in a bit of trouble now. Tapia said, I've had enough of this. In he comes hard with his elbows, right onto Robert. Robert now being forced to defend against the elbows attacks of Tapia. Well, Tapia was starting to lose the direction of his fight, and then he has decided, well, I'm just going to go for it. He's given a cut right across the eye of Robert. Robert's cut now from those elbow attacks, and Tapia on the boil now, moving in onto Robert. The smile's gone away from Robert's face now as Tapia goes into the grapple. Robert knows he's got a fight on his hands here. The 3rd round he is cut. Tapia with that repetitious elbow attack. The referee's going to examine the eye cut of Robert. He's going to call across the doctor, no need to. Fight goes on. Good roundhouse kick to the body, to the head, 2 fine roundhouses, 3-4 by Robert. Robert here, coming back after being cut with those elbows. is really coming back with some classic roundhouse kicks. And he's starting to put his power back into his action with his knees. And Tappa is in a bit of trouble now as Robert gets down to the serious business of not only salvaging but winning this fight. Robert cut, but still a top contender to come out on the victor of this one. Don't write Robert off, particularly now as he realises that he has to really battle to win this fight. Here he is getting his confidence up again, and Tappa has been forced to go on the retreat as Robert gets a second win and is coming back very strongly against Tappa. There he is. Hard roundhouse kicks to the head by Robert. Robert cut, wounded, but very dangerous here in round 3. Tappa taking some punches to the face, working on that cut of Robert's eye. Robert now being evasive. Seconds remaining of this third round. Tappa had Robert where he wanted him, but Robert, showing great courage, has come back in the latter stage of this third round, and he's really relishing the opportunity of getting into the grapple where he can use his knees. End of round 3, and what a sensational round. Just when Robert was cruising so easily, Tappa came back with those elbows. Let's pick up some of the slow motion. There it is, the first of the elbows at the start of the run for Tappa. In he comes, 2. Here he goes with the third, watch it. Here he goes, sets it up, and bang, 3 elbows. And that's not the finish. 4. 4th, and that one did the damage, I think. 5 elbow blasts. And that really did have Robert in a good deal of bother, but to Robert's credit, he came back. And now with 2 rounds remaining, we move into the 4th round, often known as the winning round of Muay Thai. Can Robert come back? And how bad is that cut over his eye? Well, I can't see any blood there at the moment, so it looks like they may have stopped it. Any trouble for Robert? Now he comes in hard with those roundhouse kicks. He's looking very confident again as Robert. Tappa been forced to go on defence. Stands back against the ropes. Been pinned back by those roundhouse kicks of Robert. Robert setting up. Tappa comes back with leg kicks. Roundhouse to the shoulder by Robert. Robert's going to really put some pressure on with his roundhouse kicks as he forces Tappa back again. Good roundhouse to the body by Robert. That one really got through. And again by Robert. Tappa comes back with 2 good roundhouse himself. As I said before, this is a war of attrition between these 2 fighters. Great roundhouse kicks there by Tappa, and back comes Robert himself. Both fighters realising this 4th round is crucial. And Robert settling in with his roundhouse kicks now. He's looking very impressive indeed, is Robert in the red corner after taking that cut with the elbow in round 3. Now Robert scoring points, outscoring Tappa in this 4th round. Good roundhouse kick to the head there by Robert. And Tappa has been on the defence for all this round. Shin on shin. Robert attacking again, forcing Tappa back. Again, it's Robert getting the upper hand in that exchange. He's looking confident now as Robert moves in with the roundhouse to the body. Tappa comes back, takes his centre ground of the ring. But again, it's Robert doing the attacking. Seconds remaining of the 4th round. Been a good comeback round by Robert. Robert in the red, doing well again. Good roundhouse to the head by Robert. Well, Tappa is smiling and looking confident, but I don't understand why. Really, Robert has probably caught up with him on points after taking those elbows in the 3rd round, and now this fight will go down the line. It's the fighter that scores the most will win this encounter. And there's no real need for Tapia to be doing too much smiling, because Robert's right back into this contest. Here he is, roundhouse kicks to the head by Robert. It was a very good round considering that he was cut in round 3, and it looked like Tapia was going to go on with the job, but it was Robert who did more in the crucial, often known as the winning round 4. So if Robert goes on with the job, he can owe it to that 4th round. But here we are in round 5. Tapia and Robert. Tapia had a good round 3. Robert came back in round 4. The 5th will decide it. Roundhouse exchanges. Robert in the red. Tapia in the blue. Will Tapia get his elbows working again? Will he try to get into the grapple? Or will he stay back at long range? Now the grapple's on. Robert swings him around. Roundhouse and roundhouse a counter. Well, both these fighters are now being a little bit cautious. They don't want to throw away any points advantage they may have. Oh, that was a good attack there by Tapia, and Robert almost lost his footing, so hard was the blow on that one. So that was a good attack there by Tapia. Robert coming back again, but Tapia, the precision maker there, was able to score a very, very telling blow that could make the difference. That was a great kick there by Robert. Robert's kick went flush onto the face of Tapia. Now it's kick for kick. Robert coming in, scores with a roundhouse to the body. Tapia comes back with a roundhouse himself, but it's Robert who outscored in that exchange. Well, I wouldn't like to say exactly for sure in a definitive way who's in front, but if I was a betting man, I would have my money placed on Robert. I think that he's done enough in this fight, but it could go either way. I've been known to be wrong before, but it seems to me that Robert's got back into the fight in the 4th round with a good 4th round, and I think he's done enough. I think he's outscored Tapia in this 5th. There's Robert now, stalking in onto Tapia. Roundhouse kick scored, and no response by Tapia. That's a good sign for Robert. Every time you score and there's no comeback, the judges usually score that has been a point. There's roundhouse exchange again. Robert getting the slightly more in than Tapia. Well, Tapia's playing percentages here. He thinks he's done enough with that 3rd round to set himself for a victory here, but in my mind, I think that Robert came back with those last 2 rounds, and I have him as the winner, but we'll wait for the official decision. Here they are. There's a roundhouse kick by Robert, just missed, and then he paid the penalty with Tapia coming down low and almost unearthed him. But both corners believe they've won it. Let's see, it's going to go the way of Robert is the winner. Robert's the winner in red. The 4th round won it for him, and I don't think that Tapia really did enough in that 5th round. So a very close victory there to Robert.